Hello, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. The hour is here, and this is the time to test the waters. Finnish authorities charged Simon Ekpa with terrorism incitement. I beg, when you hear this headline, just laugh. So, this is where we hear na true that Nigerian government promised Finland government 60 years of uninterrupted free crude oil supply. Now let them do anything within their power to make sure that they subdue Simon Ekpa, or rather send him to life imprisonment with terrorist intent. Are they really aware of what is happening in Nigeria? That the terrorists Nigeria have been recruiting into the military are the ones now killing the real military men. Are they also aware that the same terrorists now take twins baby, newborn baby, and feed it to their dogs? This thing happened, and the so-called Nigerian president zoomed off and went to Rome. He wanted to attend. He is just an uninvited guest. There's no any public publication that Tinubu was invited to go and attend that ceremony. Uninvited guest, while they are busy. 117 dead bodies of his own military men was out there, and he zoom off. You charge Simon Ekpa with terrorism incitement. Okay, let us proceed. But before then, please circulate this message. Ugo ebere na mgbagbu. Kita ka ya amazi lekwe ebere na ndị kwaturu. We shall never bend the knee to them. FFK reacts as terrorists feed dogs with newborn babies. Because not your own children. Why can't you run your mouth? I submit willingly. Death is no big deal. Patu Tomi replied DSS over alleged shadow government plan. Be aggressive against Boko Haram terrorists. Chief of Defense Staff Musa tells Nigerian Army. I beg, how many Nigerian Army remains? The ones where they don't kill finish, I beg, get any other one where remain? Let us read the news, I beg, for reading sake. I just want to update every Biafran out there. This news is today, Friday, about Simon Ekpa. After we just heard that 4 other individuals have been set free, and we are waiting to hear the good news. Only for we to come here now and hear this rubbish, this arrant nonsense. Finance prosecutor announced on Friday, which is today, that they had charged a man identified by local media as Nigerian separatist leader Mazi Simon Ekpa with inciting terrorism online. Nigerian News reports that the charges follow an investigation into his activities between 2021 and 2024 in Lahti, Finland. Finnish National Prosecution Authority issued a statement confirming that a Finnish individual was charged with suspected public incitement to commit crimes with terrorist intent and the participation in the activities of a terrorist group. The authority stated that the charges stem from efforts to establish an independent Biafra region in Nigeria. Independent Biafra region, a cause championed by Ekpa. While the persecution authority did not directly name the accused, Finnish public broadcaster YLE confirmed that the individual in question is Simon Ekpa, a self-proclaimed leader of a faction of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. He has been advocating for the independence of Nigeria's southeastern region, a move that has sparked violence and controversy. Ekpa, who also claims to lead the Biafra Republic government in exile, was arrested in November according to the persecution authority. Ekpa has been in custody since his arrest and has denied the charges against him. the dual finance Nigerian national has actively advocated for the secession of Nigeria's southeastern region, where the Biafra independence movement originated. This movement was at the heart of the Nigerian Civil War in the late 1960s, which resulted in significant bloodshed and loss of life. Ekpa is known for his leadership of a faction of IPOB, a separatist group pushing for the creation of an independent Biafra state. In addition, in addition to his separatist activities, Ekpa has also served as a local representative for Finland's Conservative National Coalition Party in Lahti, a city located north of Helsinki. He was a member of the city's Public Transport Committee. When Ekpa was arrested, finance authorities also saw the detention of 4 other individuals suspected of financing his activities. However, the prosecution authority announced on Friday that the charges against the 4 suspects have been dropped due to a lack of evidence. We shall not bend our knees, according to FFK. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode has expressed sadness over a report that some terrorists in Zamfara State fed their dogs with twins born in captivity. Nigeria News learned that a member of the House of Representatives, Aminu Jaji, had on Wednesday during the plenary said the security crisis in Zamfara had degenerated to a point where babies born in captivity were fed to dogs owned by the insurgents. Jaji narrated that the terrorists abducted a pregnant woman, but when she gave birth to a set of twins in captivity, the leader of the terrorist group took the babies and threw them at their door. The lawmaker said the dogs ate them up, one after the other. Reacting, Fani-Kayode in a statement on his X handle on Friday questioned if there can be a more callous crime against humanity than the terrorist actions. According to him, Nigeria must eliminate these federal psychophants and send them back to hell. He said terrorists in Zamfara State kidnapped a pregnant woman who gave birth while in captivity. They fed her 2 born babies to their dogs and forced her to watch as they were eaten alive. Can there be a more callous crime against humanity than this? Can there be a more explicit display of man's inhumanity to man? Again in Zamfara, an epileptic boy is kidnapped by terrorists together with his family and is murdered in front of them after he had a seizure and fell to the ground. Can there be a more bestial act of savagery and barbarity? O Lord, behold our tears, arise to our nation's defense, and rid us of this evil. We must eliminate these federal psychophants and send them back to hell. We must rid our land of this godless horde with strength and courage. We shall prevail. They will never break our spirit. We shall never bend the knee to them. You are calling God to come to your aid. Okay, no problem. I submit willingly, according to Patu Tomi. He had been threatened with death penalty. A professor of political economy, Patu Tomi, has expressed willingness to surrender to the Department of State Service DSS following a legal suit accusing him of attempting to illegally usurp Bola Ahmed Tinubu's executive powers by setting up a shadow government. Nigeria News report that the suit marked FHC ABJ/CS 937/2025 was filed or ratified at the Federal High Court in Abuja, and the DSS alleges that Otomi's action represents a significant threat to national security and the constitutional order of Nigeria. The DSS boast claims Utomi's plan to establish a shadow government undermines the legitimacy of the democratically elected government and poses or rather possesses risks to public order. According to the DSS, the proposed shadow government, which is unregistered and unrecognized by the Nigerian Constitution, would attempt to operate as an alternative government, violating the provisions of the so-called Constitution. In a statement via his X handle on Thursday, Utomi said some sympathizers are offering to put together 500 lawyers to defend him against the DSS. Utomi recalled that chairing a conference on democracy during the late Sani Abacha era, the Economist added he will not go into hiding and is willing to submit himself like a lamb laid to slaughter. He said, "I am heartened by messages of solidarity from across Nigeria on this shadow business of chasing shadows of shadow cabinets. Reminds me of the Nigerian I used to know. I want to thank all. It is energizing. Some want to put together 500 lawyers to defend me against the DSS. It was put as a question. Is this how democracy dies in Nigeria? The answer is in the affirmative. This is how democracy died in Nigeria, where citizens cannot organize themselves to ask questions of their agents. Under Abacha, we brought Nigerians together at St. Leo in Ikeja for a conference on the future of Nigeria. I chaired the planning which came out of the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria on the watch of the then Father Kuka and Ehusani. Now, foreshadowing democracy, hell comes. Where am I? Will arrive on June 12 and head to Abacha's residence. Abiola's residence. My hands are primed for handcuffs, and if the Aquino treatment from Marcos bullet at the airport is preferred, I submit willingly like a lamb laid to slaughter. Death is no big deal. 4 of my friends are in the morgue as I'm talking to you now. What is certain is that Tinubu will not escape that same fate. He may have been in London when I faced the assassins under Abacha and being the supplier to Chief Enaharo and Nadeko abroad of reports of my position on the matters of the struggle, but we all ultimately go the way of man. To the spirit of Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and the Holy Watch of St. Thomas More, I raised the meaning of being for what is left of my time on this stage. I remember the showman of science, Carl Sagan, as the NASA orbiter turned his camera to Earth for the final time, a speck of dust, home to tyrants who have threatened rivers of blood, and also to all those who have loved. I'm a burden to chant freedom now. If we die, we die. Be aggressive against Boko Haram, according to Mumu, Chief of Defense Staff Musa. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, has urged officers and men of the Nigerian Army to go all out in the fight against Boko Haram and other terrorists in the country. This is as he assured Nigerians of the military commitment and determination to bring an end to the insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria. Nigeria News reports Musa made a submission during his operational visit to the Headquarters Theater Command Joint Task Force Northeast Operational Hadinkai Meduguri on Thursday, 15th May of 2025. According to a statement on Friday by the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Officer, Headquarters Theater Command Operation Hadinkai, Captain Robin Kavingia, the CDS noted that more platforms and combat enablers will be injected into the theater to enhance troop operations. The CDS was also briefed on the recent operational occurrence across the theater, charged officers and men to be aggressive against the Boko Haram terrorists. This, he noted, must be done with tenacity, as the nation was looking up to the military as its last hope. Finally, he commended the explosive ordnance disposal personnel for their efforts at making the area safe. He further charged them to remain disciplined, assuring them of support needed to carry out their daily activities. Anyway, my people, these and other headlines I have read out here. I'm very sure I'm able to convince you, but not to confuse you. For you to know that Finland government is a joke. In fact, they have just started. They never see anything. Well, let's see how all these things will unfold. Have a nice day. May the good Lord continue to bless us on this Friday. TGIF. Thank God say na Friday we dey today. Ka Chineke mezie okwu n'afọ nna na nwa na nke mmụọ nsọ. Ọ ga-adịrị onye ukwu mma dịkwa onye nta mma. Maka na this izu ụka nke anyị nọ wụ Friday. Onye ukwu ya eje bata, onye nta ya ejekwa wee bata. Otu aka ọ ha nọ n'ọnụ, my people.